My mouth becomes dry. I think this has to be the last one for today. But it's going to be between BlueBoo playing as the Conef and Maze as the Soban. And Blue, of course, we've seen in a couple of our tournaments now. He's become a recurring player, which is always very nice to see. Maze playing as the Soban, and he's pretty good at it, I think. And honestly, in this matchup, I think I tend to favor the Soban, at least for the early and mid game. But yeah, I think also just based on the players, I'd probably have to say Maze is is the favorite player in this particular matchup. And he's rocking some pretty interesting colors there too. It's like pastels, you know, very faded out. Looks like chalk. See what the builds are going to be here. Blue going with early Sandskimmer fabrication and going to move out his base runner and production cruisers. That's always pretty fun to see. And we may see some blast drone shenanigans. That's what we like to see, obviously. That's what we come here for. That's why we go to the gladiator fights for, right? So probe here, you're gonna get information on this. Light the smoke signal. He's gonna fly out a little shallow there. I think, yeah, he probably would have taken some damage if he had not been careful there. Also, if this base runner had kept moving. And I mean, he did take some damage, but he could have taken more, you know. Base runner obviously not gonna be able to stop this, but the ALM should do just fine. And if Maze just makes a couple of LAVs, he should be just okay to hold this off. Blast drone shenaniganry, difficult to pull off against Soban because of those ALMs, but also we discovered that, you know, because it counts as an ability, the detonation, the targeting jammer will stop him from going off as well. So will be difficult to get those salvager kills that he's looking for, even if he can get through. Just the targeting jammer plopped down should do fine. And this is one of those rare cases where I'm really quite pleased to have a targeting jammer. Normally I just think like, where's my turret, you know what I mean? But Sandskimmer's gonna come in here and get some good damage on that base runner, I would have thought. Actually, they're gonna back away. And I guess they're worried about some LAVs being back there, but this is something we tend to see from Blue, where he gets aggressive in terms of build, but then doesn't get aggressive with his units. I'd love to see him, you know, try to take a fight here at least. Especially because he's definitely got the numbers for it, but if you don't, you just kind of end up, if you don't get, oh, I thought I'd moved a unit for a second. Oh, this is a replay. If you don't get aggressive with the units, you end up sort of having built them for nothing, right? Because they're really just kind of paperweights if they're not fighting. So here we got a first little kind of scuffle going on here, but again, the whole army getting pulled back at the same time. No damage going to get done there to Maze. He has forced an ALM, but I think that Maze was on supply cap anyway. And he's actually going to try to contest there, which I think is very risky here, because these LAVs really enjoy fighting Sandskimmers that are getting stunned. One Sandskimmer probably going to get taken out, yep. And I've got to say, that's probably because of the ALM. You know, when they stun people, they, how do you say, when they stun people, they actually, like, can't take any orders, those units that have been stunned. So it's really difficult to keep all of your units, like, nice and tidy in that case. They often get split up, because they actually don't receive the move orders that you've given them while they're being stunned. I'm not sure I really like that, but it's just how it works. I think it has to do with the idea that like a unit can't move, it also can't take orders, but... For instance, you'll notice the same thing happens when you do a Gaussian base runner heal. It also can't take orders during that time that it's doing the healing. So this base runner ought to go down, yeah. And I think perhaps that means there is some option for blast drone shenaniganry. Not to say that the base runner going down is essential for it, he could have gone in earlier. But actually I think, obviously there's an ALM here, it's going to slow him down, right? But it's not going to stop him entirely. And I think what he could do is trying to kind of take a fight with these LAVs over here, make sure there's no units over there, and then have the 2 blast drones sneak up and do some damage on that side. Anyway, we see those Soban rails coming out already. That's what we like to see. Very powerful unit. I think you probably all know how Soban railguns work, but the idea basically is that their damage is a little bit lower, but their fire rate is about 3/2 as fast. I think that's actually exactly it. I could do the math and figure out how much lower their damage is, but I really don't want to. Point is, they definitely have a higher DPS than all the other railguns, but they also have this marked target ability, and that's when it really gets ridiculous. And if you have 5 or more of them, then the marked target begins to become effective. And yeah, basically it just increases your damage output, but not only just for the railgun, but also for every unit that's attacking. And so you end up getting these incredibly powerful railguns, and they're also more accurate against Strikecraft. I know some people would say that's not true, but like, by my experience, I'm gonna just say it's definitely true by now. I've seen it happen like so many times. So Soban railgun's definitely the strongest thing about this faction. And it's also kind of nice because, I mean, you'd obviously be worried. Oh, nah, detonate this, please, yes. And he's gonna come in here, probably gonna get this railgun too. Nice. Those are some pretty good blast drone hits right there. But yeah, you know, we're often worried when there's a faction that does something particularly well, like Conf with their like redonkulous Conf Siege, you know what I mean? That, or like Galzian with their railguns versus the assault ship line, that you're just kind of always going to see that particular build come out unless someone's doing something funny like a rush. But I feel like it's already such a big part of the Coalition gameplay that you're going to go for railguns. It's very rare to see someone who doesn't make railguns as Coalition, that it's kind of okay, you know? It's like it doesn't even really make a difference. Upgrades starting to come out on the LAVs. We do already have Armor 1 and rating for BlueBoo on his Sandskimmers. Biggest problem here, though, I haven't really mentioned it just yet, but there is no refinery mode, and I think that's really going to hurt him a lot. Obviously, he's trying to fight a 2-base economy right now, so you know how well that works, right? It's not very easy. And I think it was missile ships that... No, it can't be, can it? Because I think those are locked behind AAV tech. But I swear I just saw him research some kind of a unit. I'm not sure. We'll see. But yeah, interceptor research did come down now for BlueBoo, and I'd like to see him make some of those, obviously. Very good against railguns, those things are. But you have to be careful with the LAVs because they do quite a lot of damage to them. This is probably a scenario you ought to smoke that base runner. Well, actually no, I take that back because it's not actually in danger now. Assault railguns getting made here. I'm not sure I like that idea because they have a lot of trouble fighting against normal railguns, and I didn't realize that he had gone for railgun tech at all. I might just go for siege cruisers here, and you can hope that because the numbers are still low, this hard counters the LAV is like really hard, and you can also use that barrage against those railguns. It's an option not available to you when you play as normal Galzian, of course. And we're going to get precision bombers, which I like, but still no interceptors out on the field, and that would be really useful, so I'd like to see him go for that. Railgun still got a shot on his opponent here. And he's just very, very slowly but surely pushed him back way to his main. And you can see the difference in economy here. I think it's beginning to show in the number of units. A bomber would be nice though. They have enough armor that like Strikecraft really can't do anything to them. And we're gonna see some dead assault railguns here, I think. Unless the railguns miss every single shot, which seems to be what they're doing so far. We should be seeing some cruise missiles here. I think he should power down everything else and just put in the cruise missiles so that he can get the range to fire. Probably he'd be able to fire like about around here, which would be very nice. And it's probably so tempting to go over this hill and attack them, but yeah, you can see what happens, right? Not going to turn out too well for him. Just a couple of Sandskimmers left now, and I think May's giving a lot of respect to his opponent here, but he really could just push in at this point. I think that's pretty safe to say. So that was pretty good. Now there are 2 blast drones here, so there's, you know, potential for something ridiculous to go down here, but actually really he should be launching this air unit already though. And that can obviously do, you know, some pretty good damage against those railguns. I think base runner smoke could be used pretty well here. Boost's gonna get popped here, so the blast drones can't even really close the distance. And he probably will just come in and take out that that base runner, I think. I guess he wants to keep them all together. Probably just easier on the micro that way. But I think he probably could have just taken out the base runner. That would have been good. Railgun count slowly increasing. And if these LAVs stay with the railguns, there's no way that the interceptors are really going to get much value out of themselves. And we should see a dead production cruiser right here. I'd be kind of amazed if he doesn't push in there. Amazed? I just realized. Yeah, but he definitely should. He's got line of sight on it too, so the railgun should be attacking it as well. Pretty good cruise missile there, but it's the first one we've seen. That's a little suspicious, right? I think those would have been very useful earlier on. There goes the production cruiser. Still no refinery mode, and I think that's really like the big thing that's killing him right here. His opponent's on 3 bases, you know, you're only ever going to be on 1 until you get that tech. Launch the bomber! Come on, go! Yeah, there we go. You can see marked target getting used there on those railguns to increase the damage output. And of course it stacks, right? So the reason why it's really effective is because it's 25% for every one of these railguns now. They start doing pretty ridiculous amounts of damage when you get marked target going well. And that will be a carrier kill. That'll be the end of round 1. Of course I didn't play in this one because I had to buy it. One player always gets to buy in these kinds of tournaments if they have an odd number. What is this guy? Commander Victor, dude. I'd ride with Victor. I think he knows what he's doing. Well, that was well played by Maze. I think Blue really needs to, he really needs to get used to attacking if he's going to move out aggressive like that. Other than that, otherwise I think he should go for more like macro plays. Because his play is not terrible. You see like those blast drone hits were pretty good. But yeah, I feel like his biggest problem here was really just strategy. So, hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it myself, you know, even if I am quite tired now. I'll be coming in with some more content from round 2, probably tomorrow. And I really am going to do this daily video thing. I thought it was so funny how I said in like the video before today, like last Saturday, like, yeah, you know, I'll be making videos basically every day, and then I waited for like a whole week. But I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you soon in the dunes. Eh? What?